In the United States, a multitude of complex challenges are currently exerting a significant influence on the nation's overall well-being. These challenges encompass a wide array of concerns, ranging from the increasing urgency of addressing aging infrastructure and the pressing reality of climate change-related issues to the problematic disparities in population distribution, growing income inequality, urban deterioration, the proliferation of suburban sprawl, suboptimal city planning, traffic congestion nightmares, and an alarming mismatch between the cost of living and the median wages earned by the average American citizen. These matters, often discussed around the proverbial kitchen table, have now reached a juncture where they have transitioned from everyday worries to substantial distractions for the nation's populace. Furthermore, the United States is currently grappling with the sharpest price escalations in the past 4 decades, primarily due to the looming specter of inflation, which has managed to take precedence in the ongoing economic discourse. It is essential to underscore that the current state of affairs is a far cry from the circumstances that prevailed several decades ago when the United States was experiencing a newfound era of prosperity. During this period, there was a burgeoning middle class and an increasing sense of stability, particularly in the Midwest, a region affectionately referred to as America's heartland, which was thought to be the harbinger of a brighter future. Nevertheless, these high hopes didn't materialize as anticipated. The very industrial core that fueled the Midwest's meteoric rise began to deteriorate, with many factories relocating to distant shores, such as China. This departure, coupled with the mass migration of millions of residents to other parts of the country, left the Midwest grappling with a substantial decline and decay, a situation that was further exacerbated by the loss of a significant portion of its tax base. Consequently, this era bore witness to numerous beautiful brick houses, deserted and abandoned by individuals who found themselves underwater on their mortgages. Some of these homes were even subjected to auctioning through specialized websites dedicated to such property transactions. While the geographical terminology often used to describe the region encompassing the Midwest, the Rust Belt, and the Great Lakes is commonly interchanged, it is imperative to recognize that this generalization obscures the subtle nuances that define this extensive expanse. The Rust Belt, though significant, represents a relatively smaller economic region, encompassing portions of New York and Pennsylvania. This area includes once thriving industrial towns like Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Gary, Indiana, alongside major urban centers such as Chicago, Indianapolis, Detroit, and Madison. On the other hand, the Midwest emerges as a far more expansive and influential region, stretching northward to encompass states like Minnesota and North Dakota, and westward to encompass regions such as Kansas and South Dakota. Although the prominence of the Midwest may not be acutely evident in the present moment or the near future, there exists an undeniable potential for its renaissance, echoing the circumstances that once propelled cities like Detroit, Cleveland, and St. Louis into the upper echelons of the nation's urban hierarchy. The potential reawakening of the Midwest may not exactly mirror the economic vibrancy of the 1950s, an era when manufacturing held a paramount position, but it does hold the promise of a reinvigoration that aligns more closely with that epoch than one might initially presume. In parallel with these observations, the provided map graphically illustrates the anticipated future drought conditions in the United States. This outlook underscores the looming risks of severe weather patterns and flooding. Furthermore, it's essential to note that the city of Phoenix ranks exceptionally high in terms of daily particle pollution, often referred to as PM. While ozone pollution typically remains invisible, the detrimental impacts of heightened particle pollution levels are visibly observable in the affected areas. The Midwest, an often underestimated and underrated region of the United States, plays a paramount role in the broader context of addressing the critical and urgent challenges currently confronting the nation. Although climate-related concerns have cast a long shadow over various popular cities and regions across the country, the Midwest stands out with its distinctive attributes, which include abundant natural resources, fertile soil, and a substantial population of nearly 70 million residents. Moreover, the Midwest's geographical location in proximity to Canada, a pivotal trading partner for the United States, places it at the confluence of economic influences while bordering the prosperous and densely populated Northeast Corridor, further highlighting its significance. The Midwest serves as the gateway to 4 major North American megaregions, establishing it as a critical nexus in the national landscape. Furthermore, this region boasts an array of renowned institutions of higher learning, including Northwestern University, in addition to being home to the headquarters of several prominent American corporations, such as McDonald's, Boeing, Target, and General Motors. The Midwest also lays claim to some of the world's most iconic attractions, including the Mall of America, Mount Rushmore, and the iconic Willis Tower. The Midwest is not only emerging as one of the nation's most geographically stable regions, characterized by fewer climate-related concerns, but it also enjoys a central location and manageable topography, enhancing its overall appeal and resilience. This revitalization of the Midwest is anchored in several vital pillars, each contributing to its resurgence and newfound prominence. One of the primary factors underpinning this revitalization is the region's affordability. The Midwest, when compared to other high-growth areas across the United States, offers a favorable equilibrium between economic opportunities and the cost of living. This affordability, in conjunction with the region's overall safety, makes it an attractive proposition for individuals and businesses seeking a stable and cost-effective environment. This focus on traditional manufacturing industries forms the bedrock of the region's economic prowess. The Midwest's revival extends beyond the revival of traditional manufacturing sectors. It is increasingly characterized by modern growth industries and a dynamic shift in the composition of the workforce. A pivotal aspect of this transformation is the diversification of Midwestern cities at a rate that outpaces other urban centers across the United States. This diversification is fueled not only by the region's affordability, but also by its receptivity to unique opportunities. The lower cost of living, in conjunction with labor flexibility, has created a fertile ground for the flourishing of a vibrant tech scene and a burgeoning startup culture. The moniker Silicon Prairie aptly describes the region's burgeoning technology ecosystem, underpinned by prestigious educational institutions such as Northwestern, the University of Chicago, Notre Dame, and the University of Michigan, which collectively produce a stream of highly skilled graduates equipped for the demands of a modern, technology-driven economy. A burgeoning capacity for remote work has further amplified the region's appeal, allowing Midwestern workers to access businesses and employment opportunities that were traditionally the preserve of the most expensive urban centers in the United States at a fraction of the cost. Beyond its digital transformation, the Midwest has strategically positioned itself as a pivotal hub for modern logistics. The region has successfully attracted some of the nation's most recognizable distribution and warehousing businesses, leading to the development of expansive logistics facilities in cities such as Indianapolis, Detroit, and Milwaukee. This investment in logistics has created new economic opportunities and added a layer of resilience to the regional economy. The surge in venture capital investment, which has quadrupled in the past decade, underscores the growing vibrancy of the region's entrepreneurial ecosystem, with over 18,000 startups currently operating in the Midwest. The establishment of significant regional offices by tech giants like Salesforce and Infosys, in addition to large, that's a wrap for the reasons why is the Midwest so important to America. If you learned something, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the following video. This is Vacation Awaits.